All right, so last video for your notes for this digital learning day. Okay, so we know what this means. We mean this is less than -2. We're going to solve, for the most part, we're solving these inequalities the same way as we did solving equations, right? Trying to get x by itself. I'm going to start with the constant. It's a -4. I'm going to add 4 to both sides. And that gives me x equals, or not equals, is less than +2. Now remember, on that previous sheet, we decided that adding a number doesn't change my inequality. So I'm going to do it exactly how this looks. So I need all the numbers that are less than 2. There's no line underneath it. So I'm going to do an open circle. And then I'm going to shade in. And that's where all of my numbers are less than 2. Again, if your variable's on the left-hand side, treat that like an arrow. All right, number 2. I've got a -3x is greater than 12, so the only thing I have to do is get rid of that -3 that's being multiplied by x. Inverse is divide by -3. X equals not equals, but greater than -4. So all I need is a open circle, because there's no line underneath, at -4. Where are my numbers greater than -4? Well, it's that way on the number line. We know variables on the left-hand side, treat that like an arrow. So that's all those numbers there, okay? Number 3, the first thing that you might notice is my x is on the other side. But we're not going to worry about that yet, okay? What I have is I'll have a 1/2 in front of my x. Don't freak out that it's a fraction, because it's just a number. It's a number multiplied times x. So we're going to divide by that number. It's just a number. A fraction is just a number. So now we have to do that to both sides. Your calculator can handle that. 1/2 divided by 1/2 cancels. Watch, if you don't remember, this is how you do it on your calculator. You're going to create a fraction. You're going to put 7 on top. On the bottom, you're going to do another fraction, because I've got another fraction. I'm going to put 1 on the top, 2 on the bottom. Enter, and it's 14. So what looks scary to us, our calculator doesn't care. It just eats it up. So look, we divided by a positive number. And if you remember on the previous sheet, dividing by a positive number doesn't change anything. We don't have to worry about it. We're going to leave everything the way it is, okay? So now we have to realize that my variable's on the left-hand side. So we've got to think a little bit when we go to graph this. So just put 14 somewhere. We know we need something at 14, and we know it's going to be a closed circle. So here's what this says. This says 14 is less than or equal to all of these other numbers. Well, what are these other numbers? Where is 14 has to be less than all the numbers that are going to go in here? Well, if I put 13 there, that's not, 14 is not less than 13. So it's all over here. So look, you can also think of it as the alligator is eating all the numbers that are bigger than 14, right? Well, that's going to be that way on the number line, okay? So we got x over 4 minus 1 is greater than 9. We like this one because my variable's back on the left-hand side. All right, so I'm going to start with the constant. I'm trying to get x by itself. Yeah, I see that fraction. We don't have to deal with it yet. Let's deal with the constant first. We're always going to start with the constant. Inverse of -1 is add 1. So that gives me x over 4 equals 10. Let's think about what this says. This says x divided by 4, basically. Well, what's the inverse of dividing by 4? It is multiplying by 4. So that's going to cancel. If I multiply by 4 on this side, I have to multiply by 4 on that side. So that gives me x, I put equal again, is x is greater than 10 times 4 is 40. So again, we multiplied by a positive number. On the back, on our previous notes, we decided that multiplying by a positive number, we don't have to worry about it. We can treat it like all the others, and nothing has to change. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what's gotta change, probably on the next one, I think. All right, So this is x is greater than 40. Again, I don't care where you put your 40. Put it wherever. I need an open circle because there's no line underneath it. Where are all the numbers greater than 40? Well, they're this way. Okay? Number 5, set up a little differently, but remember from solving, we've got parentheses with a number in front. We need to distribute. Negative 2 times x gives me negative 2x. Negative 2 times 1 gives me minus 2 is greater than or equal to 6. Next thing I need to do, start with the constant. It's minus 2. I'm going to add 2. 6 plus 2 is 8. Now I'm going to divide by a negative 2. If you remember on the previous sheet, that's where we have to do something. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do here in a sec. Remember, if I just left this alone and finished solving this, it's going to give me a statement that's not true. So when I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2, and that's going to give me x and a negative 4 on that side. When I divide or multiply by a negative 2, that's got to ring a bell in your head. And it's going to tell you to flip this sign. So it was going that way. I'm going to just simply flip it going the other way. Okay? And that's it. That's all we have to do. Now it's hard because I've got to remember that we've divided by that negative. So go on, draw your number line. Doesn't matter where you put your negative 4, just put it on there. It's a closed circle because there's a line underneath the inequality. And so now I need where my x's are less than or equal to negative 4. Variables on the left, so I can treat that like an arrow. But all my x's are less than negative 4 over there. All right, last one. Variables on both sides of the inequality, but we know how to handle that. We're going to move this 2x to the other side. It's a positive 2x, so we're going to do minus 2x. That's going to give me 4x minus 5 is less than or equal to 7. When I'm subtracting, don't have to worry about this sign. I'm going to leave it alone. Getting x by itself, I'm going to deal with the constant first. I'm going to add 5. 4 times x, inverse is divide by 4. X is less than or equal to 3. I didn't divide by a negative, so I don't have to flip the sign. It's only when you do it, you'll see when you see a negative on the bottom of your fraction, that's when you have to flip it. But I've got a positive on the bottom of my fraction, so I don't have to flip it. So you just go to 3, or put 3 wherever you want on your number line. I need it to be closed because of that little line right there, and I need all my x's to be less than or equal to 3. Well, that's where all my numbers are less than or equal to 3. All right, and that's it, guys. I will see y'all in class.